Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Lindsay in Pretoria. Happy Friday, guys.
What's up? You guys look amazing today.
So let's talk. You guys look great too. I like the whole combo we got going on. Okay, so we want to start by sending our thoughts and prayers to everyone in Florida who's dealing with the devastation caused by Hurricane Ian. So parts of the state look like a war zone. I mean, homes were completely destroyed and flattened. But there were images of humanity too. The Daytona Beach Police shared these pictures protecting kids from the storm and carrying them on their own backs. We put up a few charities where you can donate money and help with the relief effort. Take a look at the screen. I know we all have been affected in different ways, either knowing people that live there or have been through hurricanes ourselves. What do you think when you see these images, Al?
I mean, I think about my buddy that's down there now. I think about the path that's headed towards South Carolina where my mom lives. And that's the thing with Mother Nature is it's unpredictable. And even if you can't predict it, you still can't do anything about it. But what we can do is continue to show these images because we do always highlight the bad. If it bleeds, it leads. You know that being in news. But you know what? Today we're leading with some good stuff too, which is human beings doing what humans do. So I'm happy to see that.
And I'm happy that everyone's helping each other. You know, there's more than 2 million people that are still without power, and the rescue teams have already responded to 3,000 homes. There's a lot going on in Florida, and it's going to be going on for months and years to come to get everything back to a new normal.
Absolutely.
So just thoughts
let's not
with everybody
forget.
there.
You're right.
Okay, so we want to switch gears and move on to a story that had us all talking and even debating this morning. A top Apple executive is out of a job after he was caught on camera making some off-color comments, to say the least. To give you some context, he was approached by a TikTok star who's known for asking people in fancy cars what they do for a living. Rude, take a look.
Good sir, your car's awesome. What do you do for a living?
I race cars, play golf, and fondle big-breasted women. But I take weekends and major holidays off.
Okay. That is quite the career. I'm looking to get into that.
Also, if you're interested, I got a hell of a dental plan.
Okay. You do it all. You do it all.
Wow. So the executive had been with Apple for 22 years. He apologized, quote, anyone who was offended by my mistaken attempt at humor. So DBL Nation, what do you think? I mean, should this Apple executive have been fired? Yes or no? We want to know what you guys think. Erica's making a face. Should he have gotten fired?
Well, I have so many questions. Yeah, I have a lot of questions. One, is that his car? Because isn't it parked in the grass? Like, they look like they're at a...
Are they golfing?
Oh, maybe everyone's parked in the grass.
Okay.
Okay, I see that now. Yeah, if he wasn't in the car, I would speculate that maybe there were some other substances involved, which it could have been. I don't know that. I'm not trying to say. He just seems like like he's happy.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And he was in a social setting, probably amongst peers, and said something in jest and then went viral. The answer to your question is, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
Don't you think that in 2022, everyone should know if there's a camera or phone out, mind your manners. Like, it can always go anywhere. Like, even if you say some off-color stuff to your friends, which is still inappropriate, if the camera's out, especially a random person's camera, why would you go ahead and double down knowing that you have all this stuff on the line?
I'll agree with our co-host Erica. I think he probably a little happy. Looks like we had had some happy drinks maybe at lunch, allegedly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Happy drink could be tea. I'm just saying he looked very happy. What scares me about this, Lindsay, is first of all, somebody approached him. He was in his space. They approached him with a camera, and he made a joke that missed. What I always say about jokes is good jokes and bad jokes come from the same place. It's about the ear that they hit. Sometimes they're well written, and sometimes people just don't get the reference. Sometimes they're very off color, but you're like, man, that's hilarious. I can relate to that. Jokes, if you could predict how jokes would always work, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be the most famous comedian ever because I'd be 10 for 10 on specials. You try and you miss and you fail. And this is just a regular executive. He tried a terrible joke. I don't think we all think he's doing this. But again, Lindsay, my question to you is like, is this the world we want to live in now? If there's a call on social media for somebody to be fired for something that's that has to do more with taste than anything. Is this a good place for our society to be?
Well, I'm just thinking about 22 years with a company. I know we've all been in different places for 5 years, you know, a long time, but 22 years is a lot of your life. And for them to say, oh my God, you got caught up in a joke with a TikTok star, I don't know what the longer conversation was, but that seems like a quick way to let go of somebody who dedicated a good chunk of their life to your company.
Most of their working life, it looks.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing, like the company doesn't want that smoke either. But I mean, I've been asked what I do for a living, and I never give, like, truly in those situations, I generally won't give a truthful answer. I will say something like, basically in response to, why are you asking me that? So
I'm not quick enough. Every time someone asks me, I'm like, producer.
Yeah, no. Like if someone's asking you that, especially when I feel like when I'm being asked in certain circumstances what I do for a living, people want to put context around why I'm there.
Okay.
So I will say something that's probably very off color, because I'm like, why are you questioning why I'm in this room or in this particular home or vehicle? Mm-hmm. So I've said things, absolutely, because I feel like it's 100% within my right to say something back for some asinine question about what I do. So I feel like in this situation, I'm not defending what he said, but I can understand how someone would respond, like, in a joking manner, even if the joke wasn't funny.
If he said, you know, I sell cars, I work for Apple, and Lindsay, at night I like to rob banks. Robbing banks is a terrible thing. You're taking people's money. Should he be? I mean, it's just, if we're talking about imaginary scenarios that are bad, I don't think that anybody here thinks that he is really fondling women. I don't think he would admit to that. So we also don't think he's really robbing banks, but he got fired for the fondling women. So should he be fired for saying he robs banks?
Right.
That's pretty terrible.
Luckily, I'm not the CEO of Apple to make that decision. I don't have that pressure.
It just seemed like it was really quick.
Yeah, you don't want to get sued either or Me Too'd as a company. Let's read the results. Okay, so should the Apple executive have been fired? 16% say yes and 84% say no. So a lot of you guys think that this was the wrong decision.
22 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a long time.
That's a lot. So coming up on DBL, our interview with matchmaker Devin Simone. She's telling us how to break the stigma of older women getting into the dating world. And Bruce Willis becomes the first actor to sell the rights to his likeness after his retirement. What do you think of Bruce's deepfake twin appearing in future movies?
Closed captioning provided by
Hey, just stopping by to say we're taking over. We're mad all day. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
We did earlier this week about James Earl Jones selling his voice,
5,
so AI
4,
could redo
3,
Darth Vader.
2.
So the conversation there is like, is this a good idea? Is this terrifying? Also, I think to even go there thinking, when he passes, is it going to be even weirder? Like, you know, like say it's 5 years after he passes, and now you see Bruce Willis in a brand new movie. Like, is that? It's weird. It's
and what's
really
the
crazy.
value? Like, how does that?
His family does get to sign off on everything his face is used for. Like,
so it's like they got to keep
say.
providing a.
Correct.
Like
so,
they have to keep pitching them.
Yeah.
Like,
So
we're
his
going to pay you
estate
X dollars.
has the final say.
Oh wow.
But so that's the conversation. The next story is going to be Trevor Noah. So he announced last night that he's not going to be on the Daily Show anymore.
Did you guys think 7 was such a random?
It's very
most
random.
people go like 3-year contracts, so it's like 7 was just odd to announce at this time.
Yeah.
We have lots of things to bring up here, so the script is pretty short. We'll play a sod of it. We'll come out. He says he's leaving because he wants to continue being a stand-up comic and going out and doing that. And some people are saying it's the ratings. So I have a sheet for you that I'm going to give you with the ratings of when he was in it and when Jon Stewart was in it. But then also we have his social media, so you can bring that up in conversation because his social media is insane.
And Nielsen is based off the U.S. and he has a humongous following in India,
Yes,
South Africa.
Correct.
Like,
and so it's like, who should, you know, like, are the ratings to blame? What about his social views? Who might replace him?
my mom said he
And
thinks
can
he's
the
taking
Daily
James
Show
Corden's
recover?
spot. Where'd she get that from? Is
Oh,
that a
well,
real thing?
Because it's your mother, that's why.
Yeah, but I tried to find it. I'm like, whenever Colin and my mom give me information, I'm like, what's the ABC News source or something?
I don't know how you
Like,
can compare the ratings 2 years ago with Jon Stewart to now, because everything
These
is
are
so
points that you
fragmented.
can bring
now.
up once you
It's
get
all
into the
different.
conversation.
It's like,
So that's the
These
average.
are class to me.
Welcome back to DBL. So Bruce Willis is unretiring. Well, sort of. The actor retired last year after his aphasia diagnosis, but he just sold the image and rights to an AI company of his own image. Here is a look at his digital twin, which was used in a commercial last summer. Now, Bruce is the first celebrity to sell his face, but earlier this week we told you about James Earl Jones, who agreed to AI so his Darth Vader voice can live on. Now, all this is really freaking me out. It's reminding me of Black Mirror, but I don't know if you can make money and your estate can make money for generations to come. Is it worth it?
Well, I guess that remains to be seen, but I mean, this is where technology is going, and someone had to be the first to do it, and we're gonna see this all in a very real social experiment. I don't personally have a problem with this because it's him, both in Bruce's situation and James Earl Jones' situation, they're making that decision for themselves, which is a totally different conversation than when we were talking about posthumously, doing the holograms and stuff of people who have passed on long before. So if that's their choice, that's their choice.
But don't you feel like, I feel like the grandma who watches the grocery store clerks become machines and not people, and you're like, oh my God, everyone's gonna be out of a job.
You mean all of us at the self-checkout now? Yes.
Exactly. So now I feel like, what about current actors? Like at some point, it's like
Lindsay,
life goes on.
Thank you. I mean, I wonder if we always had this technology, then we would never have had a Denzel Washington or these new actors, the current actors of our time. If the actors from the 20s and 30s and 40s were still being CGI'd into everything.
You think so?
I mean,
There
I would love to
needs to
see
be
a
a
current
space-
Sidney Poitier movie, but like still, if that happened and he was the main character and everything, would we see, like he's saying, Denzel?
And if it's a CGI Sidney Poitier, like, doesn't it take away from it? Because if it's a bad movie, you go, well, it wasn't really him. And if it's a great movie, you'd be like, well, it was more the graphic arts than actually the human being. I think that we're trying to figure out ways to get around humanity, but there's a reason that you like certain actors and actresses over other ones. They resonate with you. And like when we start talking about just some graphics on a screen and some audio looped underneath, it's not gonna feel organic, and that's why that looked all weird.
Oh man, okay. Well, this is a lot to think about. I'm sure we'll keep talking about it as we see these movies come out. So Trevor Noah is ending his run on The Daily Show. He made the surprise announcement last night. Take a look.
I realized that after the 7 years, my time is up. Yeah, but in the most beautiful way, honestly. I've loved hosting this show. It's been one of my greatest challenges. It's been one of my greatest joys. I've loved trying to figure out how to make people laugh, even when the stories are particularly on the worst days. We've laughed together, we've cried together. But after 7 years, I feel like it's time.
So Trevor Noah says he's leaving the show because he wants to get back to stand-up. But some people say the ratings are what's really to blame. What do you guys think? I was shocked. My mom sent me the clip last night, and I'm like, 7 years? That was such like an odd time.
Well, I'm not shocked by it at all. There was also some talk about the fact that he was in his apartment for 2 years and everything that's happened in the world. And he has obviously an amazing team behind him, but the forward-facing person is just Trevor. I don't know what I would have done during the past 2-3 years if we didn't have each other. Like, it's been a lot to get up, on daily and talk about what's happening in the world to us, to all of you in real time, and at least we had that support. I don't blame him for wanting to move on. 7 years, whatever, and who knows what the options and all of that are. I don't think the ratings had anything to do with it. He is a multifaceted, talented man, and he's really at a height in his success. I think it's time for him to go.
And just for comparison on the ratings, he gets about 800,000 viewers per night, whereas Jon Stewart was having about 1.7 million viewers per night. It's a different time, but he also has 11 million Twitter followers, 11 million plus, and how many? 7.7 million Instagram followers, which means a lot because he translates worldwide.
Absolutely, and that's the big thing. It's like my buddy Jim Jeffries is a comic here in the States, but he's started in Australia. My friend was in South Africa and said he saw a billboard for him. I think Americans forget that, like, there's a whole thing called the rest of the world, and it's initially, because Trevor Noah and I have the same manager, you know, RuPaul's Drag Race, it did okay ratings here, but the clips went internationally viral with everything that they did. It's not really about the TV, it's about the clips, and the Daily Show clips do extremely well overseas. So again, I don't think it's a ratings issue. You can monetize clips now. Right. I just think he was ready to move on. So
well, we're getting to the point where digital is driving everything else.
And I mean, let's be honest, Erica, where's a good-looking, hilarious guy going to go from here? I mean, I feel like, you know.
Erica always talks about this. Social media is king right now.
That's right. You're right.
We'll be right back.
Some of the images out of Florida this week have been hard to believe, and some you shouldn't believe. So let's look at some of the wildest viral posts we're seeing online, digging into the details using these sources. We're going to start with a classic hurricane hoax. Pictures like this one, this tweet showing a shark on a highway, or so it says. It's gotten nearly 45,000 retweets, 477,000 likes, and that's just this time around. Turns out that this is the same photo that was shared during at least 3 previous major hurricanes, but it turns out it's actually from a 2005 issue of Africa Geographic magazine. This photo spread right here, edited to look like it actually happened on an interstate. Okay, how about this video right here with more than 200,000 views showing people partying on a balcony, supposedly during Ian's lightning strikes.
Something's on fire!
Now, we were able to find exactly where this video was taken in Fort Myers, which is near where Hurricane Ian made landfall, but it's an old video posted to both Imager and TikTok months ago, not during the hurricane. And here's another video showing a massive seal scooting along the sidewalk, supposedly in Florida. More than 15 million people have watched this video, which was actually taken in 2020 in a coastal town in southern Chile. Don't worry, according to an Argentinian news outlet that reported the story at the time, the Chilean Navy and local community helped the seal get back to sea. Check out this photo of a flock of flamingos hanging out in a bathroom hunkered down for the storm. It turns out this one is real. The flamingos live at Sunken Gardens Park in St. Petersburg, Florida. They shared the photo from their official account to let people know the flamingos were having a hurricane party in the bathroom, eating, drinking, and dancing. Sounds like a good way to ride out a storm to me. If you have something you want us to verify, send it our way. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. Let's be real, society isn't too kind to women who are middle-aged and single. So to break the stigma against older women dating and answer some burning questions, we sat down with matchmaker and dating expert Devin Simone. Take a look. So there are some stigmas about older women dating that just aren't true. Share those with us.
The lies, girl, they're straight up lies. You know, there's a stigma that, you know, when you get older, that you're less fabulous. There's a stigma that you won't be able to sort of keep up, that you're really set in your ways, maybe that you've kind of lost that oomph. We all know that that's not true. I mean, you know, 50 is the new 20, 60 is the new 30. You know yourself more. There are some advantages to dating older, and you can make it work for you. You just have to be smart about it.
All right, well, let's flip it a little bit. What about a younger person pursuing an older person? Now, is it, like, what's a red flag and what's a reasonable age gap?
So y'all not gonna get me in trouble talking about reasonable age gaps because hashtag no judgment.
Yeah, that's right.
But it depends on what you're looking for though, right? So you just wanna make sure that you have a similar vision in what you want out of life. So if you're older and you want to date someone 10 years younger than you, okay, cool. But make sure that that person's not looking for something very different, like maybe they want to start a family. Also make sure that you guys have complementary lifestyles. So if you're ready to retire and jet off, dip it and do it, and can pay to do that, and this person's just starting a new career and working extra long hours, you're probably not going to be compatible. So just make sure that you have a shared vision for what you want in the future, and a similar lifestyle in terms of, you know, where you can be now. Unless you're just looking for somebody really cute as arm candy, then do whatever you want.
Okay, well, look, I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire here. Give us a number. Like, what's a weird? Is it 8 years, 14 years? Like, what's a little like eyebrow raising?
So with our clients, I generally recommend an 8-year window, right? So you want to do, like, say 5 years down, 8 years up, and that's for men and women. But again, if you feel like you just want something much younger than that, we're talking 15 years, 20 years, you can do that. Just be realistic about it and make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of.
Ooh. All right, so a lot of people wonder how to know when you're ready to date again, especially after divorce or loss, and the best way to go about it. So what would your advice be to them?
My advice would be, if you feel like at some point you want to get back out there, the minute you start thinking about it and the minute you feel comfortable enough to even say it, even if it's to yourself in the mirror or to your best friend, then it's time to give it a try. You don't have to be fully healed. That is a myth in and of itself. We're always growing. You don't have to be fully healed to start dating. You just have to be taking steps towards that goal, and go ahead and dip your toe in it. Make sure you have a good support system, because you never know who may surprise you and when.
I like it. So, Devin, before we go, we got to get into a little tabloid gossip here. Do you think Leonardo DiCaprio not dating any older women, older than 25, I should say, beautiful models from around the world? What's wrong with this sickie?
Oh, look at Devin.
What's wrong with this sickie dating beautiful models?
That is a mess. It is a mess. It's a red flag. And Leo was fine on that boat, but maybe he didn't deserve to get on the door. Maybe Rose had the right idea in Titanic, because the way that Leo keeps dating these college-age girls is questionable. Look, Leo can do whatever he wants. He's a grown adult, and these women are all grown adults. However, anytime someone keeps dating someone that much younger, it typically means that person likes an unequal balance of power, right? He's older, he's wiser, he has more money, and that creates a little dynamic, and it's a little weird. Devin,
what happened to hashtag no judgment and dip it and quit it?
Oh, I'm gonna send them to you. I'm gonna send them to you. If you are mad about what I said, go follow me on Instagram. Don't come at me about it.
Fair enough.
Devin, I love what you said earlier about if you're talking about it with your family or you're talking about it with your friends, that's something that means that you're ready to go out and do it. Because a lot of people think they're just talking in a vacuum, and I'm like, why are you telling me? Like, you should put action behind it.
Absolutely. Put action behind it. Look for a support system. Look for a date coach. There are some that are much more reasonably priced than you might think. And you can also look for a matchmaker too. A lot of companies will even do a free consult. So that way maybe you can get some expert advice and sort of that you can use when you're dipping your toe in without having to fully commit. But there are options for you. And my aunt, she's 70, has a boyfriend of 10 years. Woo. They met at a graduation, love each other. Shout out to Aunt Nevada and Will. So it absolutely can be done.
Yes. Devin, thank you so much. DBL Nation, Devin is a senior matchmaker at 3 Day Rule, and you can check out Devin on dating.com for more info on matchmaking. Devin, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Appreciate it.
That was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Lizzo makes history. Atlanta Housewife fans weren't feeling the finale, and Megan Thee Stallion is changing lives. In this week's What Erica's Watching. Now first, the Library of Congress invited Lizzo to play President James Madison's 200-year-old flute. It was a gift to the former president and survived the burning of Washington during the War of 1812. Take a look. Okay, sis, make history. Did she just twerk to sounds from the 1800s? And you know Madison is rolling in his grave, and I am here for it, okay? Here for it. Next, the Atlanta Housewives season 14 finale aired Sunday night, and fans are still throwing shade, saying it was pointless and could use two former peach holders to spice things up. Now, Nene Leakes was on that list, who has a rocky relationship with Bravo, and Portia Williams, who left the cast to be an actual housewife with her own spinoff. So hold on to your hats, because these ladies are known for snatching wigs and dragging divas. Megan Thee Stallion launched a website for her fans with mental health resources. It connects them with free therapy to prevent suicide and substance abuse, and tools to help them bounce back after a bad day. Yes, girl, you know I am all about a comeback. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBL Erica Watch. We'll be right back.
During practically every big storm, people go viral, claiming or joking that they saw ocean animals swimming in the surge. We've told you before, photos like this one of a shark on a highway are fake. Well, now, after Hurricane Ian hit Florida, this video claimed to show a massive seal scooting along the sidewalk. The video has tens of thousands of retweets and more than 15 million views. So, is it real? Does this video show a seal in Florida during Hurricane Ian? Let's verify with these sources. Using Revi, a reverse image search tool, we found this video was posted years ago, so it couldn't be from Florida right now. The video was actually taken in 2020 in a coastal town in southern Chile. It's a huge elephant seal, an animal that's native to that region. They don't typically venture inland, but this one did, and a local woman told her son to film it, according to an Argentinian news outlet that reported the story at the time. And the story has a happy ending. The Chilean Navy and local community helped the seal return to its home in the sea. So we can verify, no, this video of a seal is not from Florida during Hurricane Ian. With your Fast Fact, I'm Casey Decker.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. Have you guys heard about Camp Lejeune? It's a military training base in North Carolina, and unfortunately, anyone who lived or worked there may have been exposed to toxic water. This could cause serious health conditions. If you've developed any of the following, attorneys with the Victims Justice Group are hoping to help you. To our viewers, if you or someone you know lived or worked near that base from 1953 to 1987, please call 1-800-793-9962. All right, guys, so I want to get to some of these comments. Nicole said, I heard Trevor Noah is dating Dua Lipa now. I wonder if he's getting out to focus on that. You know, you can date and also and also work.
Yeah, she works too, last I checked.
And Kevin says, I'll miss Trevor Noah on the show. I hope to see him doing stand-up, though. I don't buy the stand-up thing because he had stand-up things scheduled throughout his whole time working on that show.
Might just be burnt out.
Oh, Susan Granger has a philosophy that he's taking over for James Corden on the Late Late Show. I tried to find a new source, but I couldn't find one, but she feels strongly about that.
So your mom is the source?
Yes, ABC Granger.
Yeah.
Okay. ABCG.
I love it. Well, I mean,
man.
Keep us posted, and who knows, if she starts getting some of these stories right, she'll be like a trusted, she'll be like the Hollywood Insider.
She needs to come on the panel and take my job for a little while. Okay, guys. DBL's new, same time, same place. We'll see you Monday.